Because it's Friday, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do.
Oh man, those were the days. Spring break. 20 years ago was the last time I went on spring break. Now I just have to live vicariously through YouTube. Ah well, let's drink a beer. Spring break.
It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Chad from Beard Hops Podcast. Since it is spring break season, I thought I would do a 3-week or so series of, spring break themed beers maybe. So this week, I'm going to start off with a beer called Spring Break. How about that? This is a beer from One Barrel Brewing Company in Madison, Wisconsin. It's called Spring Break Tropical Pilsner. And this actually goes pretty good with the way my palate has been going lately, more to the lighter side of beers. It wouldn't be a podcast without me picking dog hair off a microphone. I still love dark beers, the stouts and imperial stouts and barrel-aged stuff and dark lagers, all that stuff. Love it. And maybe it's just because spring is arriving, or it could be that I'm just getting a little bit burned out on some of the darker stuff. Although, as I said, I still love them. But I've been searching for the perfect Pilsner. So I thought I would do a Friday morning beer review on a Pilsner and, make it spring break themed since it's spring break. Now, you might be just getting off of spring break at this point. What's today? What is today? March? The end of March, 29th. So you might be just getting off spring break. You might be starting spring break. I don't know if you can find a beer like this wherever you're at, because as far as I know, One Barrel is Wisconsin only. So sorry about that. But I'm going to go ahead and crack it open and let you know what I think of a tropical Pilsner. Well, that's interesting. Out of the can, and probably because it's a tropical Pilsner. By the way, back to the regular camera view, it didn't like it up high. There is a very citrusy smell to this one. I would say it smells like a pale ale. Spring Break Tropical Pilsner. Let's get it poured and see what it smells. Get the old glass sniff, and we'll grab a taste. I'm using my Pilsner craft beer glass. Beauty. It looks darker on the screen there than it actually does. And I don't usually do the light test, but because this is such a light beer in color, I am going to see if I can get a better... There we go. I mean, that's a glowing representation, but let's see. How about on the bottom? Woo! It's a really nice Pilsner color. Had about a 2-inch head on it when I poured it, bubbling nicely from the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of the can in here. There we go. Now the can itself is a tropical scene, kind of Fiji-ish looking. Palm trees, someplace I would love to be right about now, because it's only about 32 degrees this morning. It is getting warmer. I mean, 32 degrees it's for Wisconsin, we're getting there. 5% ABV, 12 fluid ounces. Nothing else really on the can other than where it's brewed and bottled by One Barrel Brewing Company, Madison, Wisconsin, and Door County. I'll get to that in a second. And they have the Independent Craft Beer Brewers Association label on the side of the can. So One Barrel is a super interesting company. And there isn't much information on the website about it, but we'll talk about it here in a second. I should probably get it sniffed and tasted. Yeah, that's amazing. It smells like a pale ale. A citrusy pale ale. but the taste is very Pilsnery. It's very well described on the can. It's a tropical Pilsner. That is freaking delicious. Now, I've been trying Pilsners, different craft Pilsners, for the last probably 2 months, and I found some that I like and found some that I don't really care for. I will admit to using Miller Lite as my base, just because, it's mass produced. If you want to start with something at a basic level, I think Miller Lite is a great one to start with. And based on that, I just went kind of up or down. So I gave Miller Lite, whatever it was, 2.5, 2.75, something like that. Because let's face it, you can slam those things all day long. So it's very drinkable. And I do have some in my refrigerator, I'll admit that, because it's just an easy grab and go. Using that as a basis, the Pilsners that I've tried, one of them did come in lower than Miller Lite. I'm not going to go through the whole list because I honestly don't remember all of them at this point. But I do remember my favorite one up to this point is Bell's Lager of the Lake. It's a Czech Pilsner. And I did rate that one at like 4.25 or 4.5. And I'll tell you what, right off the bat, this one, because of its summery lightness and the fact that I think I could just sit and drink this anywhere, especially on my boat, I'm going to go strong out of the box on that first taste of 4.5. This is delicious. Now, this may be not necessarily morning beer, but a Pilsner I kind of feel like you can drink any time of the day, so not morning specific, but I bought a 6-pack of this stuff, which by the way was like $7.50, pretty good deal. Yeah, you could drink a 6-pack of this stuff before lunch. It's really good. One Barrel Brewing, as I said, is in Madison. Their website, it's a good website to get you started. They don't put a lot of information out there. However, it's a very, very small company. It's basically a tap room, and the way One Barrel does things is their brewmaster will brew one barrel of a style of beer at a time to serve in the tap room. So the other tap room is full of different beers. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, a dozen plus beers on tap in the tap room. The beers that are most popular, they end up producing. One of my favorite summer beers is the Kolsch style, and one of my favorite Kolsches is from One Barrel Brewing called the Commuter. They also have a German amber called Copper Stag, and they do a cider called Gentry's Hard Cider. Oh, they've got one other one. But it's discontinued, I think. They did produce it. The Fifth Element was a rye IPA. I got this tropical Pilsner in 6-pack cans in my local liquor store here. So apparently this was a winner in the tap room, and it's being produced now. So it hasn't been checked in a whole lot. We'll get to that here in a second. One Barrel is in Madison, as mentioned. They are opening a tap room in Door County in Egg Harbor, which is fantastic news for me and probably the other podcasting boys, Jakey and Adam, if they decide to come up and spend some time on the boat with us this summer. But Egg Harbor is going to be the location for a new tap room for One Barrel Brewing. I'm very excited about that. The Madison Tap Room it's an 80-seat, old school kind of cozy neighborhood vibe, and they've got a bunch of merchandise you can buy on the website. So that's the website. I don't have any idea what the capacity is of One Barrel. There's no information on that. I just know that they experiment with one barrel, which is 31 gallons of beer at a time. Whatever is successful in the tap room, they end up producing and sell it all over the state of Wisconsin. So I realize if you're listening to this outside the state of Wisconsin, you're probably not going to be able to get this one. But if you come to Wisconsin, in the summertime especially, grab this one. Over on Untapped, they started producing this one in March of, looks like 2017. There are 509 total check-ins, 488 of those being unique. Pretty super rare beer. There's no canning date on this. I wondered if there was a canning date that would have told me when, if they just like started production on this. I'm guessing that most of the check-ins at this point would have been tap room, but some cans are starting to show up. So yeah, 488. The average rating 3.51. I like this beer way better than that. If I go over to Barrel Beer Advocate, they have all of three people have checked this in on Beer Advocate, and has a 3.48 out of 5. I'm well above the average on this one. I think it's a fantastic beer. $7-8 for a 6-pack for craft Pilsner. I think that's a pretty good deal. Obviously, you can buy 12 Miller Lights for that, maybe even more, maybe even a 15-pack for $8. I don't know. This one, for me, quite delicious. One Barrel Brewing Company, Tropical Pilsner. If you can find it, get it. This is delicious. Hope everybody has a great spring break. Had a great spring break whenever you're watching this. It has me looking forward to spring and summer. And I'm so happy the weekend's here. Time to go drink some more beer. How about some more spring break footage? Prost, everybody.
Hardcore extreme. That's Chris. That's Chris. You got it. There's a second one. Are you okay?
Mark, it's set.